Hello, I am Bernard Debarbieux. I am a professor of geography, but trained also in history and urban planning at the University of Geneva. I have done 4 decades of researches on mountain tourism, mountain imaginaries, and I am a lot concerned, of course, with climate change and the consequences of climate change in mountain economies and for mountain societies. Historically, mountain tourism result from modern imaginary invented and brought by people coming from or living in big cities in Europe or North America or other places around the world. And mountains became very much attractive thanks to the contrast that they proposed compared to the urban environment of these peoples. So mountain tourism became popular because it emblematized somehow the idea that nature is something different from cities, and they have been seen as the most natural kind of nature. So because of this contrast, this contrast generated tourism as an activity opening to alternative experience compared to the kind of life that you had in modern cities from the 18th centuries. And then it grew a lot, first because many different kind of mountains exist around the world, but also because a growing share of the world population had access to tourism and adopted this kind of practices. And the diversity of mountains, landscape and resources and amenities become also an important factor. For example, ski tourism started in the very beginning of the 20th century, so much later than mountain tourism of the 18th or 19th century. And it generated a new flux of people and revenues, economic revenues and opportunities. So taking the whole history of mountain tourism, it's possible to see how it started, how it developed, and how it became more and more diversified according to the wide range of opportunities. Now, the following step is how mountain tourism and mountains, generally speaking, are able to face this growing attractivity and the growing number of people visiting them, and the various environmental challenges that we are facing, linked to over-tourism, for example, in many places, but also linked to climate change and broadly speaking, the evolution of the natural environment in mountain regions. Regarding mountain climate change and environmental change, global change, as we say, we cannot do a lot of things now because we know what we have done in the past and we know what we are able to do now, which is not very much important and different from what we have done during the last decades. So we cannot prevent the reduction of the snow coverage and the possibility to ski in many places. We cannot resist the disappearance of many glaciers. So some resources, economic resources of mountain tourism are disappearing or changing. Because at the same time, changing only because at the same time there are some other new opportunities. For example, the growing contrast, not contrast, but the very important heat waves that we have in many regions and many cities in the northern hemisphere, for example. Make the mountain regions more and more attractive for seasonal presence in the mountains, or even residential migrations. And more and more people are interested in moving into the mountains or spending some time during summertime in the mountains. And this is a new trend, this new attractivity of mountain landscape and milieus results from global warming. So in one sense, of course, it's too bad that the mountain landscapes are changing so fast. And it's too bad that some kind of activities such as ski tourism in small villages, in not so high altitudes, are fragilized, but at the same time new opportunities are growing, and mountain people and tourist enterprises have to adapt very quickly now, because the changes are very quick and important.